Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another podcast. My name is Seema, and no, not the Disney, not the Disney Channel joke. I can't do that for podcasts. But welcome back. I saw your guys' comments on my last podcast about getting a windsock. I googled what that is because I didn't know what a windsock is, and I don't know how we're gonna make it work, but we're gonna make it work. So if it is windy, just bear with me. You know what I mean? The wind, like briefly, I just want to touch on this, like wind and water and fire and like all these things. Especially wind, though, for me, is like very helpful. Like because life is hard, right? So like if I ever feel really down, I just go outside and I run around and I let the wind kind of like cleanse me. It's actually really cleansing, you know? And so that's just kind of how I personally use the wind. I would really recommend it. There's a plane overhead if you can hear. But yeah, how are you guys doing? I wanted to talk to you guys about something, specific today. I'm actually just going to let this conversation flow a little bit. I do want to say thank you very much to everybody who has been booking calls with me. It has been a lot of stuff really quickly. It's been like a whirlwind, but I'm grateful. I'm like happy to meet you guys and talk to you personally. It's really just like a huge dream of mine. It's a blessing, really. And I'm so excited to be able to talk to you guys. So thank you very much for everybody who has booked with me. And if you want to, you definitely can. I am doing one-on-one coaching. But anyway, so some stuff that I have been really looking into recently has been mindset work. And I always I'm obsessed with mindset work, just in general. But I've noticed that when it comes to our minds, literally everything is formed as a result of them. And you may be thinking oh, Seema, that's so freaking obvious. You know what I mean? Obviously, what do you want about? But to be quite honest with you, it goes so deep such that, it affects your momentary mood as well. It affects your consciousness and how you interact with your environment every second of every day. And really mindset is everything. We can take a good day and ruin it just based off of our mindset and vice versa. So it's important to understand that we are literally co-creators. Life is not happening to us, it's happening through us. And when we seek to change our perspective on certain things, those things do change. Let's say you have something negative happen to you. It's only negative because you frame it in that way, right? Look at how you're framing things, because a negative situation can serve you actually even more than a positive situation can. So when you understand that everything is actually happening through us, we are literally prime creators of our reality. You'll understand that you're in the driver's seat. You have no reason to victimize yourself. You have no reason to think that life is happening to you. It's not. You could have grown up with the worst circumstances in the world, right? So you think. But in actuality, the reality of the fact is that we're all just having to burn karma. We're all playing out karma. Karma is not easy. Nobody has it easy, Even if you think somebody has it easy, that's just your perspective on their life and on their situation, Nobody has it easy. And so when it comes to things that happen to us that are negative, you may think to yourself, I'm a good person, why is this happening to me, and all this stuff, right? But it's just good to be aware that this is not our first lifetime. We are basically we're incurring the reactions of previous actions that we have carried out. So in this way, everything is equal, everything is fair, I posed this argument to somebody in college once, and they got mad at me. And they were like, Seema, what are you talking about? How is it possible that people lose their lives and that's fair? How's that fair, right? So I don't think it's fair, but the universe thinks it's fair, and the universe doesn't agree with what I think, right? If you look at everything from a broad perspective, you'll see how, if somebody takes a life, their life will be taken in another life, right? And it just goes on that way. We don't know. We do not know. We can only be sure that it is just, right? We can only be sure that it's fair. That's the only thing we can be sure of. We don't know how. We don't know on what pretense. right? We don't know the specifics of it, but we can be sure that everything is fair. Why? Because the law of attraction is like the basic fundamental working of the entire universe. And what this is, guys, is that, you know, whatever component something has, whatever consistency something has, it'll draw unto itself that which is likened to itself. So that which is likened to itself is drawn. So basically, if you have something and if it holds a certain vibrational frequency, you can be sure that it'll attract something of a similar vibrational frequency. This is how like people come into our lives. Like we hold similar frequencies and then we attract them in for a while, and then we we mesh frequencies, right? And then we realize that, hey, like we have to learn some stuff, right? They're here to teach us something, because when we mesh with another person's frequency, there will always be contrast, always. Why? Because no two people are the same. Doesn't matter if you guys are twins, doesn't matter if you guys, like, literally nobody shares the same individual consciousness as you. We all share the same broad consciousness, umbrella consciousness, which is the Akashic records, or Akash means sky in Sanskrit. So like we're all like plugged into that higher like blanket of consciousness, but we all have individual intelligences, right? And so when we mesh with other people, like we share a similar vibration here and there, and it's like really nice, and we learn from each other and all that stuff. And then sometimes it gets difficult, right? And then we even more so have to face that within us that we neglected, right? So like people are literally mirrors. And that's why like connections and relationships are so beautiful. It doesn't matter like really what type of connection it is, or it doesn't matter if it like ended or anything, right? Like in general, connections are beautiful because people are mirrors of us, and so they show us like what we need to work on as well. They show us like our shadow, and they show us like where we've progressed as well, and all that stuff, And to be quite honest with you guys, like connections are the best way to cultivate love within the heart. Like love is so important. It's actually just the most important component of material existence, because it's spiritual, right? Material life is like a drag, and we're spiritual beings, so we need to be embodying love constantly and feeling love constantly in order to be like internally rejuvenated and healthy, right? So like this is just the truth. Like, have you ever talked to somebody who doesn't have love in their heart? it sucks. Like it really does. Like because they have a need, right? So like you probably have heard that phrase, hurt people. It's very true, and it's the same thing for people who are healing, like healing people strive to heal other people, and that's just really all that it is. And we can always like take opportunity from interacting with other people to be humbled by them, to learn from them. Everybody's our teacher. It doesn't matter like if it's your younger sibling, it doesn't matter who it is. And I'll give you guys a little personal anecdote. I'm not very proud of this, but I'll just share it anyway, because whatever. So I used to be somebody that I would get burned, like I would get really jaded, to be quite honest. Like it could be anything, like friendships, like job positions and stuff. Like just I would be like really butthurt by if somebody like mistreated me in any way, because I'd think to myself, I would never do that to them, like blah blah blah, like I cannot believe that, whatever. And that's like such a painful stance to come from, because literally like it doesn't do anybody any good. You're just not learning, you're just not growing. Like the example that I'm giving you is that I was quite jaded, right? So like when you're jaded, like everybody's the enemy, and so when everybody's the enemy, you get quite isolated. Like, oh, there's a bird. Sorry, like right here above me. Anyway, you get quite isolated. Like you feel like the world is against you, and it's not. And so you're painting this like horrible narrative for yourself that is just simply your own undoing, And like, it's just important that we don't do this. But I'll tell you what happened with me briefly. So like, I would always walk around thinking that, like, okay, I had friends that were not friends anymore, like they suck. Like they suck as people, like whatever. And I existed in that, and I was still trying to raise my frequency while having that mentality about like people that I used to interact with. You quite literally cannot raise your frequency higher than a certain point if you are scintillating at a lower frequency like that. Like, you just cannot. And so my body, like, there's a whole story to this, but basically, like, my mind was at odds with my heart, and like my body suffered because of it, and I got very depressed. Like, I basically stayed stuck in huge cycles of depression, anxiety, and OCD as well. And like, everything looked good on the outside, right? And inside I was dying, like super manic, like really unhappy, really, And I did my best to like not make it noticeable, but like, yeah, I think that it may have been pretty noticeable. But anyway, like, that's just something that we do when we do not know better, right? We think that people are separate from us. We think that they're against us, especially if like we internalize things. I had a client that I worked with who left her job, and she basically, like, she thought everybody had turned against her at the end, which, even if it was true, let's just like say that it's true. Okay, let's say that everybody turned against this person like before they left their job position. Okay, even if that was true, right? Does it serve her to think that way? Or would it have served her better to think like, okay, like maybe I was the one that painted this picture of people being against me? You guys have to understand that we create the narrative. If you walk around thinking that like somebody hates you, like, you're going to be right. Okay? Because people pick up on energy. Like, it's not just that people pick up on energy, but it's that the universe is energy. The universe is comprised of energy. Everything gets set into energetic momentum based off of how you think. That's it. So this is what I told her, I was like, well, like, first of all, you left the job, so it's done deal. You know what I mean? So don't even worry about it. Now that you left, you can have some time to reframe, to reframe the scenario, to like actually like study things a little bit differently from a different perspective. And I told her, let's take everybody else off the pedestal, okay, of like who's in charge of this narrative. Let's put you on the pedestal. And now here you are deciding on a podium with a microphone saying, hey, everybody hates me, And she was like, oh, you're right. Like, so what do I do? And I was like, you have to change. You have to change. Guys, when we change, everything around us changes. Change is the most, like, allowing yourself to change is the most empowering thing we can do for ourselves. It is literally alchemy. Do you know what I mean? And it allows for everything around you in your reality to orchestrate itself accordingly. Let's say you're not happy with how much money you have in your bank account, right? Who is deciding this? Okay? Who's deciding how much money you have? It's you. Because at any moment you have the ability to get a little scrappy, get a little creative, open up something new, you know what I mean? Open up a new program or whatever. Go to somebody on the street and be like, hey, this is how much I'm charging for XYZ. Do you think this is fair? Why or why not? And they'd say, like, yes or no. And you'd be like, okay, great. Do you want to take it for free? Can you leave me a review? Like, you know what I mean? It's about getting scrappy. It's about getting excited about what you do. This is Business Energetics 101 basically as well. In the sense that, the energetics of your business is like the entirety of your business. Like, from whatever standpoint or approach that you approach your business with, that's how it's going to go, So let's say that you, like, a business is failing or what have you. You have been deciding that it's going to fail. You've been deciding its failure. Maybe because of your negative thoughts, maybe because of your negative circumstances. I'll give you another example. I told you that I struggled with OCD, right, in the past. So this has, as a result, manifested really crazy experiences for me in terms of health. Like, for me, my OCD has more so to do around, like, I'm very health conscious to the point where it's a little, like, it's a little bit much. It can be imbalanced if I don't control it, right? Because then I tend to get manic about it. I tend to get freaky about it. And I will sometimes overdo it on like the health stuff. And, that's also, it leads to stress, So that's also not ideal at all. Actually, we should be preventing stress more than anything else. Like, if you're working out but you're stressed out, come on, you know what I mean? You're short-circuiting. So it just doesn't make any sense for us to go against ourselves, and we often do because society has not taught us how to regulate the nervous system. Everything around us is trying to get us to shock our own nervous system, or is trying to infiltrate our nervous system. You see this in ads, you see this in when people talk to you, you see this in stuff on TV, which I don't watch TV, but you know what I mean. So it's important to understand that we have the ability. Hey! Oh my gosh. Sorry, my friend. I'm outside right now. It's important to understand that we have the ability to control how we're feeling at all times in our nervous system at all times. And we do this through regulation. And regulation is a practice. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen when you decide, it happens through consistency. And consistency compounds. It's the only way to make anything a success, whether it's your nervous system regulation, whether it's your overall health, whether it's your mental health, whether it's your mental balance, whether it's your mental balance and control, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business, a job, a project, etc. Sometimes I just see how fast I could talk. I love it. Also, I mentioned I'm outside, right? And it literally smells brazy. It literally smells like there's a fire out here or something. Because I bring the heat, baby. Okay. I'll stop. Anyway. But the thing is that we are the controllers. We are the creators, etc. Because God sits within, And I really want you guys to get clear on this because, this is something that I teach as well in my mindset coaching. And I want you guys to get clear on this because this is the way to master, different aspects of your life, It's very helpful. It's actually, pivotal, It's, really important. So, yeah. All right. I love you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed my yap this time. Okay. I'm holding iced coffee. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. Again, if you want coaching, you can hit the link below. I'd be happy to coach you. I love you very much. Okay. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one.